What's up? In this video I'm gonna show you some of the optional steps or things that you may need to do on your newly installed Gentoo system. I'm gonna use the last virtual machine. I made the installation in a video. I will put in the cards, and in this video I'm gonna use that installation or that newly created virtual machine, which is almost equivalent to a computer, except some few things that are a little different. So if you want to do these steps, you can do the same as me. In the previous installation I skipped making /home partition. To do such thing, if you have your hard drive, your root partition, you made it using ext4 like me, the extended 4 file system like me, you cannot shrink the root file system volume unless you have a live CD or live media from which you can shrink. Otherwise you cannot do that when the system is running, especially to the root file system, because it needs to be unmounted. So for you prepare your live media that you're gonna use. In my case, I tried to use Linux Mint. The live media needs to have gparted. We can use the command line as well. Since we are handling, or we are messing, if we can say, with the root file system and the system and so on, this can break the system. You prepare your live CD or live DVD or live flash drive. You can use, for example, Gentoo Live with the GUI, which is KDE. I used it purposely because I tried Linux Mint and Ubuntu and they didn't work because of an option. There is an option inside the extended 4 file system that was used, maybe because the version is newer or something. So I'm gonna try with Gentoo's live media, the newest one, which is dated the 4th of February, which is about 7 days or 8 days ago. Alright, you insert your live media in your computer and then you turn it on if it's off, or you reboot if it's running. And then you hit the key that takes you to the boot menu. In my case is F12, and in most cases it's F12. I made a video also about it. And then you choose the media type that you inserted, whether it's a disk or a USB flash drive or anything. You press the key that is related to it. In my case is C, and then you let it boot. So it's booted up already, and here we go to the start menu, if we can call it, or this thing here, the launcher, and we start gparted. This is supposed to be the hard drive where we installed Gentoo previously. It's 64, as you can see if you followed with me in the video, and select resize or move, and just keep some space after the space here. Don't mess with the data here, like don't move it here, because this will take longer and is more possible to ruin your system or destroy it. And then click resize move, and here they warn you about the potential consequences of moving the operating system's partition and so on. Okay, and that's true. You need to worry about it. You need to handle it with care. Click here and apply, and it's working. I tell you that I tried to do this in Ubuntu and Linux Mint. It didn't work because there is an extra feature, or the extended 4 file system that's used by Gentoo our Gentoo is probably more recent than Ubuntu 22.04 and Linux Mint. So in case you face the same issue, you better choose Gentoo Live DVD with GUI as the live media to make your home partition. You can see here that it says move/dev/SDA3 to the right. It's because I accidentally didn't keep it to the most left side of the disk. That's why it's moving it. That's what you need to worry about. Just make sure that you shrink from the right side and be careful, because this is a little sensitive step that can break your system. In my case, it's a virtual machine, so it won't matter if it's broken. You better back up your system and handle this situation with care. It's almost done. It's taking longer because of moving. It's gonna move all this space a little bit to the right. This is the command that fails. It used to fail before, and it's because of an option or a feature that's within the file system that is not compatible with Linux Mint and Ubuntu, because you need to update your system and it will automatically update this command, which is in general a program that does the job. The resizing of the partition is done without errors. Errors also matter for you, since they may break the system as well. Anyway, you need to consider making backup or something. Here we make a new partition, keep it the way it is. We can select any file system from Linux file systems, the compatible ones, like ButterFS or anything, depending on your choice. XFS, I guess RiserFS is not recommended since it's dropped the support. Just click add like this and apply it. It's gonna format our file system to the chosen file system. Format our partition, not file system. And it's done. Now I'm gonna go back to my machine. I rebooted to my system. There is something that we need to do. I'm gonna change the configuration of SSH. You're not supposed to do this because you don't need to. I need to connect through SSH so I can show you what we do next. So here, permit root login, and then let's change it to yes. This is not recommended because it's not secure. And then we run or turn the SSH daemon on. SSH start. You can enable it if you want. If you didn't do so, by running rc update add sshd boot, yes, this will make it automatically start. We see what is the IP address by running IPA ifconfig. I believe it works here. Yes, so our IP address is as shown there. So our IP address is as shown there. We can connect using root 148. Enter the password. Done. And then we go to the fs tab config file, which will allow us to mount our newly created home partition. We simply, let's exit first. I need to remember what is the partition. Yeah, it's simple slash dev slash sda4. We paste this, change this to for this home, save and exit. The next step is adding a user dash I forgot the command. I guess we select the name user dash m dash g and wheel. Let's check slash home. Yeah, it's made. Our user is created successfully. So it's like that. And then the password, it's gonna be for user. We create our password. Remember that on Gentoo, your password needs to be a little complicated. We may make a video in the future about how to make the system accept the simple password. So now let's switch to our newly created user, and it's switched, and then we need to, let's go back to root user. We merge sudo or do as, you can select whichever you want of them. In my case, I'm gonna install sudo, and I'm gonna try to find the binary version. Press enter. Some of these steps you can execute them on the other systems. There are some differences, like instead of running a merge, you can run, for example, Pacman or something else. So the installation of sudo is done. Almost all the packages are found binary. If you install using the option of finding the binary versions, you will succeed with it. The next thing is we add the wheel group to the sudoers file. Sudoers. If you have chosen sudo, if you wanted to use do as, it will be something similar to this, but maybe a little simpler. I believe that it's better to choose sudo, since most of you are more familiar with using sudo. If you want to use do as, just refer to the wiki page on Gentoo and you will know the configurations needed. Let's save and exit after we did the changes. If we want to check if we succeeded with this, we run sudo merge sync. Yeah, it's supposed to work, but it's just for checking. Yeah, it's working. So sudo is installed correctly. The configuration also is successful. We may need to check if the partitions are mounted successfully. This thing you need to change. This thing needs to be changed, just like Trophy said. And the Trophy is supposed to be the maintainer of Nix GUIX overlay, and he told me that there is a way to change this from rsync to git. It's faster when using git. This is just for checking. It's supposed to change to a git, and it's gonna be faster than this. I made a video about it. Check the cards. So it's working. We will check. We may need to restart the system to check if the file system is correct. the merge string command is done running.